Do you know what makes a woman think about a man non-stop, even when she doesn't want to? It's not his looks, not his money, not even his charm. It's something far more unsettling, something most women would never admit out loud, because the moment they do, they lose their power. Right now, as you hear my voice, there's a part of you leaning in, curious, uneasy, because deep down you know that attraction isn't logical. It's psychological. And when a man learns how to touch a woman's psychology, he lives rent-free in her mind. She'll be cooking, scrolling, talking with friends, and you'll still be there, echoing in the back of her thoughts. This isn't manipulation. This is understanding, and it changes everything. You see, most men are too predictable. They give too much, too soon. They shower her with attention, thinking that the more visible they are, the harder she'll fall. But that's not how her mind works. Women are wired to chase what they don't fully have, to crave what feels just out of reach. The second you reveal all your cards, you become safe, ordinary, forgettable. But the man who knows how to hold back, the man who creates space, the man who becomes a mystery, he haunts her. She replays his words, his silence, his presence that lingers like a shadow. He becomes addictive. Imagine this. She's lying in bed at night, scrolling through her phone, but she can't stop wondering why you didn't text back yet. She remembers how you looked at her, how you walked away with confidence, how you didn't fall into the trap of over-explaining yourself. That's when the power flips. Suddenly, she's the one analyzing, questioning, and obsessing. You're no longer just a man in her life. You're the puzzle she can't solve, and her brain won't let her rest until she solves it. Most men think desire comes from giving more. The truth? Desire is born in the gaps, in the spaces where she has to imagine, fill in, wonder. That's where her emotions take over, and once her emotions are hooked, logic can't save her. She will think about you non-stop. And the best part? You don't have to chase her for it. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men never hear. A woman doesn't fall for you when you give her everything. She falls for you when you give her just enough to stir her imagination. The strongest drug to her brain isn't attention, it's uncertainty. And uncertainty is what makes her mind spiral back to you, again and again, against her own will. Think about it. The moment she can fully predict you, the game is over. You become safe, stable, but not magnetic. What hooks her, what makes her restless at night, is the gap between what she feels and what she knows. And the man who knows how to create that gap becomes unforgettable. When you're not always available, when you don't rush to answer every message, when your life clearly has meaning beyond her, something flips inside her. She begins to question. Why isn't he chasing me like the others? Why does he feel so calm in his own skin? Why does it seem like he doesn't need me, but still makes me feel seen? That questioning is where obsession grows. It's not about playing games. It's about showing her through your actions that your world doesn't revolve around her. And ironically, that's when she wants to revolve around you. Women are emotional creatures, but even more than that, they're narrative-driven. She doesn't just experience moments with you, she tells herself stories about you. Every silence, every delay, every confident withdrawal writes a new chapter in her mind. She tries to decode you, to interpret you, to pull meaning from the smallest things you do. That's why the man who doesn't over-explain, who doesn't justify, who simply moves with quiet strength, becomes larger than life in her imagination. She fills in the blanks, and those blanks are where you take root in her thoughts. And here's the paradox most men never realize. The less you seek her validation, the more she seeks yours. The less you make her the center of your existence, the more she fights to pull you closer into hers. This is the psychology of desire, and it never fails. If you've ever wondered why women chase men who seem aloof, this is the reason. It's not arrogance, it's controlled distance. It's the power of being secure enough in yourself that she has no choice but to keep thinking about you. There's a secret switch in a woman's mind that, once flipped, makes her unable to stop replaying you, like a song stuck on repeat. And here's the twist. It has nothing to do with being perfect. In fact, perfection is boring. What makes her addicted is contrast. When you can be warm but also detached, playful but also serious, attentive but also unavailable, you create tension inside her that she can't escape. That tension is the very thing that makes her obsessed. Because the female mind craves emotional highs and lows. Too much comfort, and she drifts away. A little unpredictability, and suddenly, she's hooked. Think about the man who never loses his frame. When she tries to provoke him, he doesn't react with insecurity. When she pulls away, he doesn't panic. When she tests his patience, he stays calm. That calmness frustrates her, challenges her, and most importantly, it earns her respect. Because deep down, every woman is scanning for strength. Not just physical strength, but emotional strength. The man who doesn't bend to her moods becomes the man she admires. And admiration is the seed of obsession. But here's where most men fail. They think obsession comes from pleasing her. No, it comes from challenging her. Not in a cruel way, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that forces her to rise up, to lean in, to prove herself worthy of your attention. The man she cannot stop thinking about is the one who makes her feel something deeper than comfort. He makes her feel desire, even when she doesn't want to. That's why the strongest position you can take is not needing her approval. The moment she senses that you're not performing for her, not bending yourself to fit her expectations, she realizes she's dealing with a man she cannot control. And that realization is both terrifying and magnetic. Picture her telling her friends about you. She tries to explain why you've been on her mind non-stop. She can't. She says, "He's different." She recalls the way you listened without rushing to talk about yourself, the way you smiled but didn't linger too long, the way you left her guessing, wondering if she impressed you or not. That uncertainty burns like fire in her chest. And fire, once lit, spreads without mercy. So how do you take all this and make it real? How do you become the man who doesn't just capture her attention for a moment, but lingers in her mind for days, weeks, even years? It starts with presence. Not the kind of presence that comes from words, but the kind that radiates from your silence, your body language, your energy. When you enter a room, are you the man who blends in, or the man who makes people feel something without even speaking? A woman thinks about the man whose presence cannot be ignored, whose calm confidence unsettles her, because she can't figure out why she feels drawn without him trying. The truth is, most men talk too much. They overshare, over-explain, try too hard to impress. But the man who knows the power of restraint, who uses silence like a weapon, becomes unforgettable. When you pause before answering her, when you give her the gift of mystery, you plant a question in her mind. What is he thinking? What does he see in me? That question keeps her locked on you long after the moment has passed. Mystery creates memory, and memory is what she replays when she's alone. Another key is your discipline. Women notice everything, even the things they pretend not to. If she sees that your life has structure, that you respect your body, your work, your time, she knows you respect yourself. And a man who respects himself is rare. That rarity makes you valuable. It makes her compare you to the men who waste time, who seek distraction, who live without purpose. And once she compares, she cannot help but elevate you in her mind. But here's the part that will shock you. It's not the big gestures that make her think about you non-stop. It's the little things. The way you hold eye contact and then look away first, leaving her wondering what's behind your gaze. The way you touch her lightly and then withdraw, leaving her skin burning where your hand once was. The way you smile at her, as if you know something she doesn't. These are the subtle hooks, the invisible threads that tie her thoughts back to you. And once those threads are woven, they're almost impossible for her to cut. If you want a woman to think about you non-stop, you need to understand the single most powerful force in attraction: emotional tension. Without tension, there's no spark. Without spark, there's no fire. And without fire, there's nothing to burn into her memory. Most men kill tension too early. They reveal everything. They remove all mystery. They give her certainty. And with certainty comes boredom. But when you learn to build tension, when you know how to keep her slightly off balance, you become unforgettable. Here's how it works. The female mind thrives on anticipation. She doesn't just want the moment. She wants to feel it building before it arrives. Think of how she gets excited before a date, how her heart races waiting for your reply, how her imagination runs wild in the silence between your words. That anticipation is tension, and it's intoxicating. If you rush to fill every silence, if you remove every question, you rob her of the very thing that makes her crave you. But if you let her wait, if you let her wonder, you turn ordinary moments into obsessions. The man she can't stop thinking about is the one who leaves her hanging just enough. He texts back, but not instantly. He smiles, but not at everything. He compliments her, but not too much. Each small restraint adds to the tension. And here's the paradox. By holding back, you give her more. More to feel, more to imagine, more to chase. She will create fantasies in her mind about who you are, what you're thinking, what you feel about her. And once she starts fantasizing, she's already hooked. But tension isn't just about holding back. It's about contrast. It's the balance of warmth and distance, playfulness and seriousness, comfort and challenge. One moment you make her laugh, the next you look at her with intensity that makes her heart skip. One day you're available, the next you're busy pursuing your own goals. This dynamic keeps her on her toes, never fully secure, always reaching, always thinking. And the truth is, she doesn't want security too soon. She wants the ride. She wants the uncertainty. She wants the rush of not knowing what's coming next. And the man who gives her that roller coaster becomes the man she cannot erase from her thoughts. The strongest way to make a woman think about you nonstop is not by being present all the time. It's by being absent in the right way. Presence makes her feel you. Absence makes her crave you. It's in the moments when you're not around that she decides how deeply she feels for you. And the man who understands this uses it to leave an imprint so strong she carries him in her thoughts even when he's nowhere near her. You see, when you step back, her mind doesn't go blank. It fills the silence with you. She replays your words, your tone, the way you made her feel. Women are emotional memory keepers. They don't hold on to facts the way men do. They hold on to sensations. How you looked at her, how your presence made her nervous, how your confidence made her feel small and yet safe. That emotional fingerprint is what makes her restless at night, scrolling through old messages, hoping you'll appear in her notifications. It's not about what you gave her. It's about what you left her to feel on her own. Think about this. When you step away without explanation, when you're busy with your life, when you don't need constant validation, she has to ask herself, what is he doing? Who is he with? Why isn't he chasing me? These questions loop in her head like a song she can't shut off, and every loop deepens the craving. You become a puzzle she needs to solve, and her mind will not stop until it finds answers. But here's the key. You don't do this by being cold or cruel. You do it by being intentional. When you are with her, give her presence so powerful it burns into her. Listen in a way no one else does. Look at her like you see through her. Touch her in a way that lingers after you're gone. And then disappear into your purpose, your work, your mission. That contrast makes her desperate for your return. She'll think about the last moment you had together. She'll wonder when she'll feel it again. And the longer she waits, the stronger the memory becomes. That is how you haunt a woman's thoughts without even trying. Now listen carefully, because this is the part most men never understand. Making a woman think about you nonstop is not about tricks, lines, or gimmicks. It's about becoming the kind of man who leaves a mark on her soul. A man who doesn't beg for attention, but commands it by the way he carries himself. A man who doesn't need her validation, but still makes her feel seen in a way no one else can. When you live with purpose, discipline, and presence, you don't chase women. They chase the feeling you give them. And that feeling is rare. Rare things stay in the mind. Rare things get obsessed over. Rare things never get forgotten. The reason most men fade from her thoughts is because they never separate themselves from the crowd. They give too much, too soon. They reveal too quickly. They try to buy her attention with compliments, gifts, constant messages. And in doing so, they erase all tension, all mystery, all fire. But you can be different. You can be the man who knows how to hold back, who knows how to let silence speak louder than words, who knows that restraint is power. You can be the man who understands that presence is felt not by force, but by energy. And once she feels that energy, she cannot unfeel it. She carries it with her everywhere, like a tattoo under her skin. So the question is, will you be ordinary, forgettable, another man lost in the noise? Or will you become the man who she thinks about when she's with her friends, when she's at work, when she's lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why she can't get you out of her head? That choice is yours. But know this: the men who master this art never struggle with attention. They don't beg, they don't chase, they don't settle. They attract. And once they attract, they stay in control. Now, I want to ask you something personal. Be honest. Have you ever had a woman admit that she couldn't stop thinking about you? If yes, what did you do differently? If not, what do you think has been holding you back? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear your story. And if this video opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this right now. Because trust me, this is the truth women will never tell you themselves.